In 2022, a polarizing film known as Halloween Ends was released. Fans of the franchise have been anticipating this movie for years, waiting to see what the conclusion would be to one of the greatest horror franchises of all time. And by my account, and a lot of others as well, this movie is dirt. Given what they did, it should be known as the movie that assassinated Michael's character and his aura. Now, I can see all y'all getting upset already and y'all getting y'all feathers ruffled, but at the end of the day, it's just a movie. It's just an opinion, and it's all love at the end of the day. And I mean, shoot, if you like the movie, I love that for you. I wish I could say the same. So in this video today, we're going to talk about where they went wrong with this movie and why I'll never forgive David Gordon Green. Alright, Spooky Gang, let's go ahead and jump straight into this. One of my biggest problems up front that I have with this movie is really some of its fans. Now, I'm not saying all of the fans, because I know there's some decent people out here. Like, I know a few of you that are subscribed to me. We've had various conversations in terms of, opinions on Halloween Ends and all that. So, I'm not talking about y'all. But for those others out there that like this movie, it's as if they have this mindset that just because people like me who didn't like the movie, they think that we don't understand the movie. And it's like, no, we got the movie, we just didn't want it. Everything that they did was just like a departure from what we know and love in terms of this franchise, Michael Myers, Laurie Strode and her story, just the whole nine. And it makes it that much more heartbreaking when you're coming off of a movie like Kills, which was a perfect Michael Myers movie in all consideration. Now, when I'm saying a perfect Michael Myers movie, that does not mean a perfect Halloween movie. So was the story of Kills particularly great? That is what it is, but it was just a Michael Myers fest, and you just get everything that you love about him, and it's just a beautiful piece of art. It was his time to shine, which leads me into the next problem that I have with this movie, which is Corey, and it has nothing to do with the actor's performance. It's just more so what Corey was written to do in this movie. This movie was advertised as this grand finale to the Michael Myers and Laurie Strode saga, and it was pretty much everything but that. Like, the majority of their screen time got stolen by a character that we had no knowledge of leading all the way up to this movie. Like, this is the very first time this guy was introduced. And the thing that I've always said ever since I saw Halloween Ends is, if y'all decided to bring in this Corey character and you wanted to do that in 2018, then it's like, okay, yeah, we would probably receive it a little better, because it's like, okay, the original part of the franchise pretty much already died at Resurrection, and then Rob Zombie tried to bring it back in 2007 doing his remake, and then 2009 with his sequel to his remake. It had been basically about 10 years since we had seen Michael on screen. So if you want to have this movie and basically it be more so about it starting to shift over to this guy Corey, and then Corey's more so the focal point throughout the three movies, and Michael slowly but surely in those movies takes a back seat, and like Corey's becoming this sort of ultimate figure of the shape that we know and love, then okay, I can buy it. I might not necessarily like it, but it is what it is. And I mean, the franchise, we already have a million movies with Michael Myers, so I mean, it kind of is what it is. But no, that's not what y'all did. That's the thing about it, because as soon as the opening credits hit, and then you see the blue opening credits, and with it being some level of a homage to Halloween 3, I already knew that this movie was about to be different off of that alone. Then you see like that opening scene with Corey and the kid that he was babysitting and all that. That was a pretty good death, can't even lie. But still, it's just like, where are we going with this movie? Like, what is this? This does not feel like the Halloween that we know and love. And then the thing that makes it worse about Corey's character too is like, okay, once again, if you're gonna have this guy, quote unquote, taking on this new Michael Myers shape role, then at least let him be a badass. This guy wasn't even as strong and as powerful as the most human version of Michael, which is the 78 original Michael. He was nowhere near that. He has nowhere near the mystique and the aura and the disappear here, appear there, all that type of stuff, like that really makes Michael Myers ominous. Like, Corey has none of that. Corey is just like a regular dude who just so happened to stumble across Michael Myers, and now all of a sudden he's like, oh snap, and now I want to be Michael. That's kind of how the movie felt. Another problem that I have with the movie is, so we know that, with this movie more so focuses on Michael Myers' impact on the psyche of the whole town of Haddonfield. He makes them feel mentally and emotionally, even with him not even being there for the last 4 years. And you could clearly see how the town is struggling with it. At the end of Kills, they talk about how the more he kills, the more he transcends into something that is impossible to defeat, which is fear. But it's like, okay, that's fine if you want to have that in there. Okay, what about the rest of the movie? So Like, I mean, if people are mentally and emotionally scared of Michael, and not only has he not been there for the past 4 years, but he ain't even in this movie. So it's just like what are we doing here? Which also leads me to sort of how Corey became this new Michael thing. Like, Corey has this little weird moment with Michael where Michael grabs him and it's like he's looking into Michael's eyes and it's like he just sees trauma and evil, or just Michael's rage, like Loomis says all the time. Like, is that what he saw? I don't know, but like that was just a weak way to sort of have that thing kind of transfer over to Corey. And then back to like the strength aspect, it's like he's stronger than Michael is in this movie, but he's not strong enough to really make any significant impact on anybody who matters in the movie. And also, I don't like how as Corey got more full of himself, the whole bullying Michael thing, that was just weird. Like, what, like he just kind of went up to Michael, shoved him around. Like, they had a little quick WWE match, and then he took Michael's mask and was out of there. I don't like anything about that. Dumb to me. And, you know, Michael honestly is my biggest problem with this movie more than anything. It's like, not only do we not really get to see my boy on screen at all, bro was in the movie a hot 5 minutes, and that's all we really got to see. And he's this old, broken down hobo that is a shell of his former self, which was only just 4 years ago. With kills. I mean, this guy was an absolute monster, just a machine in kills. And that's even after him getting jumped and stabbed by, you know, the whole mob in Haddonfield. Yet here in this movie, he's just weak. It adds too much inconsistency of wanting to humanize Michael versus wanting him to be this indestructible monster. Now, another problem with this movie is Laurie. Laurie had a humongous shift as well. She went from being this badass, traumatized, paranoid woman who's anticipating the return of Michael and is, you know, prepared to do anything to stop him, to being this memoir writing, pie baking, suburban grandma. She left all of her final girl energy in Halloween Kills. I mean, like, you see the very last shot that we see of Laurie, she's walking out of the hospital looking like, yeah, I'm about to do Michael dirty when I get a chance. She has none of that energy or intensity in Halloween Ends. And even if her stuff was important and good, it still was going to end up getting overshadowed by Corey's mess, story-wise. So, like, you're telling me that in 1978, some of her best friends get killed. You know, in 2018, you see how her friends dying has impacted her and how she wants to basically end Michael once she finds out that he's getting released. She's keeping that same energy after Michael kills her daughter in Halloween Kills. Then all of a sudden it ends. Now it's like, oh no, now it's fine. All is forgiven for the most part. I don't need to pursue this any further. Like, now all of a sudden she want to be chill. And the last problem that I have with this film is the final battle scene. And really it's just because all the tension was lost that was built up from Halloween 78, then to 2018, then to Kills. Like, it was just all gone because it was the Corey show. And like, who even cared about really what Laurie was going through? Because, like I said, I mean, she wasn't doing anything in this movie. She was basically just trying to stay out the way. Even then, once they finally do have their face-to-face, she's able to pin him to the island, slit his throat, all this stuff so easily. And, you know, the final destruction of him with the whole town basically carrying his body into the machine that ultimately destroys him. Now, I know, like, Dr. Loomis talked about, you know, getting an incinerator and, you know, basically just burn his body so there is no more shape. This movie was just so disjointed. Just so many things about it that just do not make sense at all. And ultimately, it really impacted the movie in a negative way. And I don't ever see how I'm going to come to say that, oh, this is a movie I enjoy or a movie I like. The only things that I ever liked about this movie, if anything at all, is I'll say it has good atmosphere. It's one of the best atmospheres in the franchise. I can 100% agree with that. And then there were a couple scenes that were really good. The one that really stands out to me is when Corey and Michael basically double teamed on that guy and the lady. I guess that was like his assistant or secretary or something like that. Yeah, like when you see Corey in the dark and you just see him like consistently stabbing bro, but you could like barely see it because he's like off in the corner, and then, you know, Michael comes in and stabs the lady up against the wall, and Michael has this seizure after he does it. So that was making me think that, oh snap, my boy is like powering up. So because they talked about the more he kills, the more he transcends. I was like, okay, so maybe this guy, he just needed some kills after 4 years to get him back right. And he still was soft as hell. So I mean, I don't know. Yeah, that's about all I can say positive about the movie. And you know, those are, and everything else I explained is my gripes. Is it the worst in the franchise? No, because I still hold that spot for Rob Zombie's H2. And all I gotta say is the white horse. And that tells you enough about why I don't like that movie. Spooky Gang, that is all I have. Y'all comment down below what you think of Halloween Ends, and are you on the side that thinks that Halloween Ends is like a really good movie and some level of a masterpiece, or are you on the end that says this movie bites? And like I said in the intro, it's perfectly fine. Like, there are good movies that you can love, and right along with there are bad movies that you can really like. I mean, Jason Goes to Hell is one of my favorite like guilty pleasure movies to watch. Is that a good movie by any stretch of the imagination? No. Is Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, a particularly good movie? No, it's not. But do I enjoy it a lot? I absolutely do. And so that's all that matters at the end of the day. It's all opinions and it's all discussion, so it's just fun. Y'all comment that down below what you think of Halloween Ends. Spooky Gang, y'all already know how we rocking. We're on the road to 10K subs. That isn't gonna stop. I got another video coming for y'all this week, which will be the final 16 movies that you should be watching this October. So until then, Spooky Gang, I want y'all to stay blessed and stay spooky.